What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for watching the Queen's Lounge podcast. I am your homegirl Shay, and of course, I have brand new episodes, a brand new interview today, this month, and it is called Black Nurses and Black Healthcare Professionals. I have with you today a special guest that I'm going to allow her to bring herself in and introduce herself. Guest, let the people know who you are.
Hello. So I am Monique Parham. I am a registered nurse, been a registered nurse for a really long time. And I am a bachelor's degree nurse with a master's degree in nurse leadership. So I have always done leadership. So that's what my master's degree in, and that's who I am.
Yes. Listen, I wanted to do this particular series, I guess you'd say, or mini interviews, because I feel like it's a very short um group of Black professional women that are in the medical field. We're
Yeah,
very limited. There's not a lot of us that we see in the medical field. And
this
so I
is
wanted
true.
to shine light on us specifically because we out here, okay?
We
We
out
out
here.
here. We going to
Yes,
school. We getting them degrees. Okay, we in the medical fields. We getting that money
yes,
and securing the bag. So I
yes.
definitely wanted to shine light on us specifically. So we'll get into the questions and
Okay,
see what we can conjure up. But
okay.
my first question is, with there being a shortage of Black nurses and professionals, what is your take on that? Being in the medical field and being that there
Yeah.
is a very limited of us, how
It's
how
such
does
a
that
shortage
work?
too. Yeah, it's such
Hmm.
a shortage. In healthcare, 90% or more of them are women, but only 11% of those women are African American, and then even smaller amounts of other minorities. Um, and it's so hard. And I don't know why. I don't know. It's a great field. It's a longevity field. I don't know why
Hmm.
people don't want to get in it. Now I do know with COVID, a lot of people did leave. A lot of people left healthcare. A lot of nurses left healthcare because of COVID. But um, I personally, I push everybody that I know to get into this field. Like I had said, I've been a nurse since I was been an RN since I was 22 years old, so that was a long time ago. But I got into it because I knew that it would help me be able to take care of my family. Now, I
Hmm.
will tell you, African American nurses, they get a lot of slack from patients. It's you got to be strong. You got to
Yeah.
be able to handle it. Unfortunately, there's a lot of racism when it comes to, being a healthcare professional. As many times people will talk to me on the phone, and then when
Hmm.
they get there and they see me, they're like, "Oh, that's not who I thought I was talking to." Or
Yeah.
I've always been in management, and so they'll tell my staff, go get the boss, because I don't like the way you're
Uh-huh.
acting. And so then I would walk in the room and they would be like, okay, again, stunned. You're the
Uh-huh.
boss? Like, what's your degree? Then they start questioning my degree and questioning my
Wow.
knowledge and questioning what I know, and that kind of thing. But I've always been in management. Very for a very short time, I may have did bedside nursing, but for the most part, ever since 1994, I've been in directorship of some kind, and it's really hard for us Black, our African
Hmm.
American nurses, to break into that. We have to know somebody, or either you have to really shine. um
Wow.
and I will tell you, I have tried to bring, and let me say this, it's mindset. Because I have tried to bring nurses into directorship, or at least every time I'm in a facility, I try to promote. I always try to promote. I
Hmm.
always try to push people to the next level. I've always been a very good advocate of, you know what, let me help you, let me guide you, let me mentor you and get you to where I am. It's not that I'm not special. I just
Right.
worked
Right.
hard and did that, and I got here. So let me help you get there. But a lot of healthcare professionals don't want to do what they call be fake.
Mm. And
And
what
I'm like,
exactly is that?
yeah, and
I
that's
don't.
what I'm like. What is that? It's just
Yeah.
being professional.
Right.
Unfortunately, the reality is some things that we can't do as African Americans, um, as African American nurses. And it's not fair. Let me just say that it's not fair,
Hmm.
because when right now I'm an executive director of a hospice, and when I interviewed for that job, I said, "Oh, I can't have braids. I don't want to have braids when I interview for this job." and that's not fair. But
Yeah.
reality is I have to come looking different in order to get in front of them and let them see my knowledge and hear me speak and not be taken back by the way I look.
Right.
Once I get there,
Okay.
I'm gonna be me.
I'm bringing all the sauce.
I'm gonna
Okay.
bring me. I'm gonna be me. But
Yes.
to get there, unfortunately, and still there's me and one other African American girl that both are executive directors in my region. And we both know we have to work a little harder. We have to be a little bit more above board. We have to always, even to what we wear, our counterparts can come to work in jeans and a sweatshirt.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
Right.
Right. And it's not because somebody said we can't, it's just because it changes the way people see you. So you always have to be above board. So I think that's kind of scares people a little bit, and so that's probably why the not too many healthcare professionals that are African American are moving forward to be now. Now I know a lot of nurse practitioners, though. I know a lot of them that are African American. That field is growing. I'm so proud of those ladies. So there are people out there making moves, but a lot of times it's fear, and they just don't want to deal with the corporate America. They just don't want to deal with it. Yeah, you have to be ready for that.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It's just something about us as people, the Black culture, the Black community. It's us, more specifically us as Black women, because we bring so much to the table. You know what I mean? The creativity, the out of the box, the whole knowledge of what we know,
right.
Giving everybody else an understanding of how to do things the way we do it. So it's just something to say about us whenever we get into any type of field. Okay? No matter what it is, we just gonna take it off. Period. Off.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that
intimidates people.
Yes. And I honestly believe that in the medical field, more specifically, since it is a field that's not going anywhere, everybody needs healthcare. Healthcare is going to be around for years. You know what I mean? And so with that being said, I do believe that we bring a lot to the medical field.
A lot.
Absolutely.
A lot. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what do you think more specifically we bring to the medical field?
We bring just what you said. We bring ingenuity. We bring new ideas. We bring growth. We bring stability. We bring respect. We bring professionalism.
Yeah.
We bring all of that to the field, which is why there's so many of us now moving up into either entrepreneurship in healthcare or becoming nurse practitioners in healthcare, because we are seeing that we can be more than just a bedside nurse. We can do more than that, because we bring so much new ideas, new innovative ways of doing things. We're always thinking, we're always changing, we're always trying to look at it from a different angle, and people recognize that. So so when you bring that to the table, that's what helps you elevate. That is what we bring to the table. And you really doing yourself a misjustice or a disjustice when you don't bring us to the table. We have things to contribute. You've just got to let us get to the table. So I myself, I've never had the issue of not being brought to the table. I've always been, because I was in management so young, I've always been the only one in the room. And so since I've always been the only one in the room, I've always brought my A game. I've always brought my education, my ingenuity, my new ideas. I'm always saying, hey, if we can't do it that way, let's do it this way. And they're like, oh, you know what? That's a great idea. So I've always had to be that person, bring the energy, bring the ideas, because I've always been the only one in the room. So which is fine. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But I would like to see more of us, but as in my years, and I see it more now, but in my years of being a leader, I literally have been the only one. And so I've had to say, hey, you guys are smart, you're intelligent, you got great ideas. Let's go. Let's go. Let's do this, and there's so many of us that have it. But a lot of people, again, get nervous. When I talk to other nurses and I'm telling them what they get scared. So, but there's a lot of us that are not.
Wow. I love the fact that we are in a new age now where Black women are starting to really step up to the plate.
Yes.
That we are really starting to embrace what we bring to the table. That we are really starting to put fear to the side and, let everybody else know that we here. We in the building.
Yes,
Okay.
we have to believe it. Yes, and I see more and more of us believing that and
Yes.
knowing that we are smart, intelligent Black women with ideas and thoughts, and we can bring those thoughts and ideas to the table. And somebody's going to say, "You know what? That sounds like a great idea. Let's do that." You know,
Yes.
and that's in every field. But the healthcare field is just easy to get
Mm-hmm.
into. But that's in every field, in every aspect, from podcasting to
Yes.
to working in healthcare, to owning a school, to doing education. We are there, and we have
Yes.
the idea and the knowledge and the power to do it. And I love it. I am love watching it. I am
Yes.
love watching the young people. The young people don't have any fear. They're bringing it to the table, and I'm loving
Yes,
to see it.
absolutely. And
Yeah,
every Black woman that I know, no matter what field they work in, they're showing up big. You know
big.
what I mean? No
Yes,
matter where they go. And with that being said, whenever there is something that we are doing to show up big in the room, there's always something that just feels like it has to drag us back. Now,
yes,
I know you are familiar with the Roe versus Wade and the
yes.
bill that actually reversed itself several
Right.
months ago, and how
Yes.
that affects so many women, and not
Hmm.
just Black women, just women in general.
Women in
And it
general.
may not, apply to us specifically, but we know
Right.
women who,
Right.
a medical issue, or, something where they feel they have to make a choice that they don't want to
Yeah.
make.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
What was your impression, or what did you think when you heard that? Because I
Yeah.
know
I
that took women by surprise.
It did, and it really angered me.
Yes.
Because whether you're pro life or whether you're pro choice,
Uh-huh.
women should be able to make the decisions on their body for themselves. You know, I don't know your circumstance. You don't know my circumstance. I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
this happened. It could be my health. It could be just I made a mistake. Who knows? I
Yeah.
don't know. But whatever it is, the woman should have the power to
Mm-hmm.
make her decision for her. She's got to live with that decision.
Yeah.
You don't have to live with her decision, government.
Right.
And then my other
Right.
thing is, why would we force women to have babies when there's already so many that are unwanted in
Mm-hmm.
adoption? Or we're going back to, unfortunately, when women and girls were throwing them in the trash.
Yeah.
They're leaving them on the side of the road, or do so. We're going to force people to have babies now because, and so now here comes a whole nother problem. We have babies,
Mm-hmm.
we have babies being found dead. So I just don't think, I talk to so many people about it, because I'm pro life, but I
Yes.
realize if a decision comes where it's either me or them, what does it? Nobody can tell me that I
Yeah.
make that decision. You know what I
That's
mean?
it. Mm-hmm.
And so women, and because if we let them make that choice, then how many other choices will they start making for us? You know what
Right.
I mean? Women
Right.
already fight to be at the table with men anyway. So
Yes.
now we're going to say, oh, now we're going to control how you do your body. Oh, no, now you can't control that. That's up to me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my personal take on it. I feel like that it needs to be woman choice. And I'm glad some of the states said, you know what, we're not going to conform to, the government rule. And because, and then people start doing underhanded abortions, and people start going to backwoods, and people start,
Yeah.
because they're going to get it done. So then
What
now
makes it dangerous for them?
it makes it dangerous for
Uh-huh.
them and the babies at this point.
Yeah.
So you gotta let women make their own choice. You just have to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm also pro-life, but I do understand that there are situations and circumstances where a woman will have to make a difficult choice, or she'll
Right.
just have to make a choice that's best fitting for her life.
For her life.
And for me, when I first heard it, I was a little taken back. Number one, I dare you
Right.
flip.
Right.
I dare you flip a bill that has been in place for so many centuries.
Yes. Yes.
And for you to feel like you got the nerve to flip it though,
To flip it.
without the consent of the woman, the
Nobody
one that
asked us.
carried, I mean, didn't ask my opinion, didn't ask how I felt, didn't ask,
No.
didn't give me the choice to vote, nothing. Like
Nothing.
I didn't get I didn't give you the consent on my behalf to
Right.
make that type of decision for every
Right.
woman that I
Right.
know. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's number one. And then
Yeah.
number two, I felt some type of way because being a woman who suffered, or I don't want to say suffer because I have a child now, but a woman
Right.
who it was difficult for me to
Right.
conceive. You know what I mean?
Right.
I felt like,
Yeah.
well, why would a woman want to give her baby up? Why
Right.
would a woman want to, make the
Right.
choice to not, give life. And then
Right.
once I thought and pondered on it, and I understood the deeper root of it, you know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
mentioned, every woman's situation is different.
Right.
Everybody's circumstances are different. And
Hmm.
the most important part that you said is that the choice she makes is what she has to deal with.
Right. Yes.
And I was like, you know what? That makes perfect sense. So
Perfect
because
sense.
it doesn't affect me personally, there are
Right.
other women who I know that are in situations and things
Right.
happen to where they have to make a choice.
Yes.
And
Yes.
for that to be harder for them to do,
It's not
I
right.
was I was baffled. I was
Yeah.
really baffled by that. I was really
Yeah.
baffled by that. So
Yeah.
I know that there are not all states have confined or, gone along with,
Right.
them overturning this bill. It is going to make it more difficult for women who have to make that choice.
Yeah.
And who wants there to be a situation where you're put in a more dire need because of a choice that's necessary, or a choice that you
Right.
have to make. You know what I
Right.
mean? I just feel like it's going
It's
to be a bigger
crazy.
problem, like you said.
It's gonna definitely be a bigger problem. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bigger problem. United States of the USA.
They love to make decisions for
I'm
other folks.
telling you. I'm telling
Oh my
you.
goodness.
I'm
And then
telling you.
they chose
I
to do
am
women.
okay. I am a tax-paying citizen. I feel like a
Yes.
lot of choices that are being made for us that's supposed to be in the best interest of us. I wish we had a little bit more say so.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Can we
Um,
have some say so?
you know what I mean?
You
I
know?
feel like we do when it comes to voting, but I feel like it's
Yes.
limited. You know,
Yes. Yes. I
we
know
don't
what
have
you
all the
mean. Yeah.
details. It's just, mark on a little ballot. You hear about it word of mouth. You maybe
Right.
catch it on CNN, or something like that. But I need to
Right.
be sitting in the council meetings with the
Yeah.
people.
And especially when it specifically affects me as a woman.
Yes,
Yeah, a
yes,
specific that specifically affected women. That means that we should have all had a say,
exactly.
and just like with marijuana becoming legal,
Yes,
everybody got a chance to have a say. Can women have a
exactly,
say about what happens to their bodies instead of
exactly,
some other people up there saying, "Okay, we've decided that this is what we're going to do." Wait,
exactly,
what?
exactly. And everybody just has to go with it. You know what I mean?
Right?
This is
Yeah.
what y'all gonna do. Like, wait, pause, hold on.
Right.
I gotta do it. Like, wait a minute. And then
Wait a
I've come
minute.
to the understanding as a black woman, as a woman, there are just certain things that just will affect me because of association. If
Yes.
that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That
This
makes
topic
perfectly good sense.
specifically may not affect me, but because it's women I know or women I know or a
Exactly.
woman I know. You know
Yes.
what I mean? That affects
Yeah.
me by association with them
By
or
association. Yeah.
association to the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I was just like, yeah, I don't know about that one. And then it doesn't seem promising that they're gonna try to flip it again.
Yeah.
You should have just left well enough alone
They
because
should have
nothing was
just
wrong
left
with
it
it.
where it was. Nobody
Uh
asked
huh.
them to
At all.
and
Okay,
I'm sure you
so
got other stuff to do.
right. Yeah, better things to do.
Yes.
Absolutely. There's a lot of things that need to be addressed, need to be
Yes.
fixed when it
Yes.
comes to, whoever is in those specific or right places of position that
Right.
you can be working on. Because
You could be
this is something
working
you didn't
on.
even have to meddle with.
You didn't have to touch.
You could have left it alone. Okay, so quick question. What are some of the challenges that minority nurses or healthcare professionals go through?
Well, just kind of a little bit about what I touched on earlier is just being able to get a seat at the table.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be above board. You have to bring a different game. Whether we think it's fair or unfair, unfortunately, we have to present differently. It's things that our counterparts can do that we can't. It's
Yeah.
things that they can say that we can't. If I've been on conference calls, right? We do conference calls, and there's this one nurse that talks crazy to the boss every time she's on the phone. I mean, just says things that I say to myself, now if that was me, i
Yep.
would be i would be called aggressive,
Uh-huh.
assertive, not assertive, aggressive, hostile.
Uh-huh.
I
A
tell you,
troublemaker.
on my evaluation, it's so funny. When I was the director of nursing at the last facility for 6 years, every year on my evaluation, because my boss would interview other department heads, and she'd ask them, "What you think about Monique?" Whatever, and they would
Mm-hmm.
always say, "We love her. She's intelligent. She's a great director, but she's hard to approach, or she's
Really?
aggressive, or." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, no, I'm not. if I feel
Really?
passionate about it, and I need, because that's one of the things that we're always met with. If we are
Yeah.
voicing our opinion, if we have a say so, and it's different from what you believe, and then as the boss, I'm firm. Okay, this
Uh-huh.
is what I said. That's how it's gonna be, and I'm done. Oh, now I'm
Exactly.
aggressive. Now I'm
Yes.
aggressive. Now I'm hard to approach. Now I can't.
Wow.
You can't talk to me. So that is one of the worst things I think that we as minority um, people in leadership deal with. You know, if
Mm-hmm.
any kickback, any if I raise my eyebrow, I get
Wow.
real passionate about my patients. I get if I feel like you're putting one of my patients in harm's way, you're gonna get that Monique. That Monique gonna
Mm-hmm.
step to the table and say, no, that's not what we're gonna do, because that's not beneficial to my patient. Now,
Right.
you may feel another way, but you're gonna get that assertive, not
Uh-huh.
aggressive. You take it as aggression,
Right.
but you're gonna get that assertive, Monique. And I'm gonna come at you professionally. I don't come at you with, you know, loud and
Yeah,
cursing.
and out of
That's
order.
not how I roll, but I'm assertive. I'm matter of factly, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you how I feel and what the decision is gonna be. And I can't help it that because you're not comfortable in who you are,
Yeah.
now I'm aggressive. I can't help that. And I used to tell my boss all the time, I can't help the fact that they're not comfortable in their role and who they
Mm-hmm.
are. That anytime I say something, I'm aggressive. I'm sorry.
Right.
So one of the things we have to do is watch that. We have to. When we're talking, I told my mentor, my mentee, the girl who's the DON now, I told her, you can't be aggressive when you're talking to people. You can't be in their face. Even though you want to be, you have to take
Mm-hmm.
a moment, step back. It's times that I've had to walk away from conversations. In the middle of a
Yeah.
conversation, I may veer off. And they be like, did Monique just walk away? Yeah, because Monique had to go
Okay,
collect
give
herself
myself together.
so that she can come back and now talk to you professionally.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we have to do that. Our counterparts don't always have to do that, but we have to
Exactly.
do that because it's already Black women are aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I mean? So we already have to say, okay, we have to stop and think before we speak.
Right.
And I tell all of the people that I mentor, I teach that learning to stop and think before you speak, even if you walk away, turn around for a minute, whatever you have to do to collect yourself so that you don't bring that person to the table. Because the
Right.
minute you bring that person to the table, it changes. So I think that's one of the things that we have to work on, or that we have to deal with, not work on, because it's nothing we're doing wrong. That we have to deal with as minority nurses is that we have to prove ourselves every day. No
Mm-hmm.
matter what part of healthcare we're working in, we have to prove ourselves every day. Sometimes it gets tiresome
I
because
believe that. I
because
believe it.
our education should speak for us, our knowledge should speak for us, but it doesn't. We have to always bring more to the table. We have to always bring our A game to the table. And like I said, sometimes it's like, oh, today I just don't
Mm-hmm.
feel like it. Today I'm just gonna be in my
Right.
office today. Today I just don't feel like it.
Right.
So that, I think that's one of the biggest things that minority healthcare professionals have to deal with. And just like I said, from the way you wear your hair to the way you dress, you have to look at that every day.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, you have to look at that every day, and this depends on where you are. I've been in corporate America, and I've been at the bedside, and every time I have to bring my A game. I've been on trips with. I was just talking to one of my friends the other day. Because I've been in the corporate world, I've been on regional trips and things, and people start drinking,
Uh-huh.
and the other people, they start showing each other their tattoos and showing it,
Yeah.
telling business and all of that. And I'm like,
Yeah, I'm good.
because if they don't remember nobody else acting up that night, whether they're
Yep.
tipsy or not, they're gonna remember me. You
Yep.
see what I'm
And you
saying?
know what?
So
That makes me so upset
it's true. They're
because,
gonna
and it's
remember
so
me.
true. It's
It
so
is so
true.
true.
And the
Yeah.
fact that makes me mad is it's not the fact of you have to adapt or adjust to where you are because of who you're with. You know what I
Right.
mean? As far as, other professionals or other people that don't look like us that's
Right.
in the same field. But it's just simply because of your skin.
Right. Just
You know what I
simply
mean?
because of that. No other
That's
reason.
all it is. That's
It's
all it is.
no
It's
other
not even the
reason.
fact because you in corporate, this is how you have to wear your hair, this is how you have to
Right.
look, because you
Right.
work, at this plateau, or because you are in
Right.
this position, you got to do such, such, and such. No, simply because you are a Black woman in the
Just
medical
simply
field.
because. Yes.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? And it's a
Yes.
very short few of us. This is what you have to do. Like, you have to go above and beyond. That makes me so mad. It
It makes
really
me mad.
does.
It
It makes
does.
me so mad.
It does.
It
It
really
makes
does.
me
And like
mad.
you mentioned, if I'm coming in and I'm not feeling 100, okay, whether I got other stuff on my mind, whether life is lifing,
Right.
okay, whether something else is going on that's, my personal business, and I'm just not at 100, you don't have a choice, okay? You can't
No.
come in at 50. You can't
You
come in
can't.
at 80. You can't
No.
even come in there at 99.
No. You got
You
to
have
bring
to be 100% of the time. That makes
100%
that
of the time.
pisses me off.
It really does.
It does.
It really does. I'm telling you, it really does. And it's tiresome. So sometimes,
Yes.
you have to go in and shut your door in your office. Like people used to understand, say, don't talk to Monique till 11 because
Oh.
she's not a morning person. And that's because I would need time. I listen to my gospel on the way to work, try to
Yes.
get my mind right.
Yes.
I'll walk in the door. Sometimes I walk in the door and they hit me before I even get to my office. And sometimes I'm just like, give me a minute because I
Yeah.
have to go in and get myself prepared because I got to come out and be 100. So
Yes.
give me a minute. Let me adjust. Let me get myself together because if I come out and be 50, you're going to go say I got an attitude. So I got to come
Exactly.
out and be 100. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I can't ever do that, you know?
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah.
crazy.
So
Yes, that makes me mad. It really
yeah.
does make me mad. The
Yeah.
fact that we don't have we can't have any excuses of why we
No.
are halfway for the
Right.
day, or why we just
Right.
are not in the mood, or why we don't feel it, or why, and a lot of the times it don't have anything to do with the job. It's something outside of the job. But because I
Yes.
have the type of job to where I will be scrutinized because of me not being at 100%, I gotta come at 100%. Oh,
I got
Lord,
all this.
makes me mad.
I'm telling you. I'm
Makes me
telling
mad.
you.
I
I'm
see
telling you.
why they say start your day off with God.
You have to.
Because having the type of job that you have, having a job where it's very little of us, you are one of two, you know what I mean? And having your personal life having to be separate from your, professional life, and then
Right.
having to balance the two. And then if something ain't going on in your personal, you still got to be perfect. It's a lot. It's
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah. And
It's a lot.
even sometimes when I'm not there or when I was a director of nursing, I would run into family members at the grocery store. Or one time me and my friends were headed to Vegas and one of my patient's daughters was on the same flight. I'm like, now I got to pipe down. Cause
Okay.
you know what I'm saying?
And I
Because
ain't even on the clock.
I'm not on the clock, but I'm
Right.
always on the clock. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yep. I
in my
understand that.
position, I'm always on the clock. So it's
Yes.
like, yes, you can have a good time, but watch to see who's around because it might be
Yep.
somebody that you work with or that you work for, and you don't
Yep.
want them to. So it's all the time. So here we are on Vegas trip, and I'm like, everybody, we got to pipe down till we get to
Okay.
Vegas because
Okay.
this is one of my patient's daughters, and I don't want her to see us turn it up. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? So
Exactly.
it's just it's a always thing. It really is, and it's a small world. Kansas City small, and I
Very,
tell you, I would run
very.
into people all the time, and even with my employees, I never could be I couldn't hang out
Too
with
buddy
them.
buddy.
I
Yeah.
could I couldn't because
Yeah.
once they get mad at you and they go back to work and tell it now here's all this other
Yep.
stuff being said. So
Yep.
people used to be like, Monique, you so standoffish. You don't want, it's not that I love y'all and I wish I could hang out with y'all. I do, but I
Yeah.
can't because I have to still be your boss on Monday. And so I need
Exactly.
us to still have that boss employee relationship. Now, there's a couple
Exactly.
of people that I was able to do that with over the years because I've had people that have followed me for more than 15, 20 years. I had
Oh
staff that have
wow.
went and they wish they could come to Pennsylvania, and so do I. But they followed me from place to place
Yeah.
because I have always been a fair boss and above board when it comes to that. So people like when they have a boss that respects what they do and is fair, and so they follow me, which I think is awesome and a big blessing for me, because it's always been awesome for me to have that. But I have to tell them, I'm sorry, I can't.
Yeah.
Because I have to always be above
Be
board.
professional. Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that. Quick question, Ma, before I move to my next one. And this might be a reach. It really might be a reach just because of who we are, and not who we are as in, women, but just as a culture. Do you ever think it will come a day where we won't have to work so hard?
I don't.
Where we won't have to go above and beyond, where we can just fit in, not fit in because we are made to stand out, but to fit in as far as I'm an equal. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't know. Nobody openly makes you feel like you're not an equal. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So at least for me, I've not experienced that. I've been blessed to not experience that. But in my mind, because of what I know, I always stay that way so that I don't have to ever encounter that. So I don't know if that might, even as an entrepreneur, I had talked about, when I open up a business, my marketer, I don't want her to look like me.
Yeah.
And the reason is,
I understand that,
because I want people to come to my business. And it's sad that I have to think that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, once I grow and build and I get it out there, on my website, there's, pictures of all kinds of people, because I want people to feel comfortable when they come to the website. You know what I mean? And it's sad. Yes, it is sad. And I am not sure. I don't know. I can't, from what I see on the inside looking out, I don't see that is ever going to change. Even in private business, because I think even my friends that I have that still have businesses and they are nurse practitioners with offices, they still have to deal with it.
Yeah.
And some of them are very successful. Don't get me wrong, very successful and doing great. But they will tell you the hardship that they had to go through to get there, and the things they had to deal with being on the same level as other people.
Yeah.
To get where they are. So I hope so. I really
Me
do.
too.
For the up and coming young nurses, because I really, really hope so, because it's such an awesome field. I love it. I wouldn't trade it for anything. But I hope that gets better. It's that I tell you, there are more now in positions of leadership than there ever has been.
Good.
I tell you, because I remember.
So that's progress.
I remember a time where Kansas City, if I looked at all the facilities, it was me and one other girl in the entire Kansas City that was in directorship.
Oh, wow.
And it just wasn't common to have an African-American director of nursing. So that was everybody shocked when I would walk out the room. They were like, oh, wait, that's the director of nursing?
Right.
So, and in my position now, I'm not a director of nursing. I'm the executive director, so I have one under me now. But so it's even more of a, oh, this is the executive director, as I walk in with my
right.
Yes, this is me.
Yes,
but I can sit at the table. I can have the conversation. I am knowledgeable about what I'm talking about. So that then makes people feel like, okay.
Yeah.
She knows what she's doing. You know what I mean? At first glance, they're a little iffy, but once they get to know me, they're like, okay, she can sit at the table. She can speak the language.
Yeah. Okay,
but
so next question.
Proven.
Yep. You got to prove it. Of course we do. And you might have a point, Ma. It might just be something we got to do, which we have been doing for centuries.
We have.
And I'm just keeping hope alive.
Yes, me too.
Keeping hope alive. Okay, so my next question is, I don't know about you, but me personally, whenever I go see an OB, or my current OB is not a Black woman, but I've been with her for some years now. But prior to her, I was seeing a Black OBGYN. But for me, I feel more comfortable, and I feel more like whoever is tending to me at the time will give me, how can I put it? Will kind of identify a little bit more because they look like me.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a good idea for Black women to have either OBGYNs or primary care physicians that look like us? I know they're limited And it's not that
They're
many
limited.
of us.
There's
And it's
not.
not that many of us. But do you think that's a good asset to have?
I would say that, this question kind of gave me some confused answers in my head. And one, because yes, I would love for that to be the case. And I know I probably ruffle a few feathers with this answer, but let me just say this. A lot of times we are not good to each other.
Yeah, I agree.
You see what I'm saying?
I agree.
And so that is the problem that we have to fix. Because yes, I would love to have that person, but I don't know if I feel confident enough, unless I've been with them a long time, that they're going to do better for me than they're going to do for one that doesn't look like me, because we want to be elevated by them. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
It makes very perfect sense. It does.
I don't
it makes sense.
It's just it's a sticky situation. I would love that, but I'm not sure I'm going to get the best
care.
Yeah. Because of that reason. I wish that we did better as Black people. I wish we supported each other. And I was just talking to my boyfriend about this the other day. Just in my years of being a director, there are staff members that would come to me, and I would give direction. And they look like me. But they would take direction from my assistant better than me, who didn't look like me.
Wow.
Does that make sense? So yes. I would try to hold them accountable, and they would give me lip.
Wow.
But then the other person would say, and I'm like, what's wrong with our thinking?
Yeah.
Why do we think we can't be accountable to each other?
Right.
You know what I mean? Why can't I support you? Why can't I want to do right because you are who you are and you are my boss, and you're telling me the right thing? Why can't I support you in that? Why do I have to be more respectful to this one instead of you? So I kind of feel the same way with that. Not saying that will happen, but that's just, I would have to be 100% secure. I mean, I personally, I don't like doctors anyway. I like nurses because nurses do the work. But
yeah, they do.
And nurses make all the decisions. So but get you a good nurse practitioner and you're doing great. Or getting in good with the nurse and you get what you need. So that's my thought anyway. I have a couple of doctors that I love and I trust with my life, but they don't do young people, but that I've worked with over the years. But I can't. I wouldn't say that we should. I would say you just gotta make that a personal decision and personal connection based on how you feel they're taking care of you. Yeah. And I'm not saying that the other people take better care, because we all know that is not accurate either.
Right.
Just historically, they have not. You have to fight for your right to get care.
Yes.
As long as you look like us, you have to fight for your right. You got to make yourself knowledgeable. You got to go in and say, I need this test, and this test. And no, I'm not leaving until you give me that test.
That's it.
So we have to make our own self knowledgeable, regardless to what our physician looks like. But even when we're talking about people that don't look like us as your physician, historically, we don't get as good a care as everybody else. So you have to, you definitely got to make yourself knowledgeable and ask the questions and know your body and know what you're asking. So
absolutely.
Inform yourself.
That's a good way to spin it, to kind of give a different perspective on it, because I've always just thought it would be a good idea.
Right.
to have, people that I go to that I want to take care of me to look like me. Because after all, I would think that, number one, they would have my best, care at heart.
Yeah.
Not only that, but because I'm a Black woman, you're a Black woman, I would assume that what I'm expressing to you is going on. You would be able to have a little bit more knowledge and understanding of, and how it affects me as a Black woman.
Right. And not saying that won't happen, but that's why it's got to be a personal decision based on your relationship with that person and what they're showing you. Not solely because of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good idea too.
You just got to get to know that person. Unfortunately, we don't do well with each other, and I don't know why. But,
we don't.
But we really don't.
We don't. We don't have a good track record.
We don't, and we need to stop that.
Yeah, we don't have a good track record of that at all.
No.
Okay, so my last question is, being a healthcare professional, being a woman, I know, and as our age grows, there are, because we're getting young out here,
Yes.
there are certain things, four major things, more specifically, amongst other things, that we as women have to make sure that we stay on top of.
Yes.
There are certain things that we have to make sure when it pertains to our health that we are taking care of so that we can stay healthy for ourselves and so that we can also stay healthy for our significant others, for our kids,
Yes.
for our
Yes.
grandkids, all of that kind of thing. And I don't like it that we as a culture, not just women, but as a
Right.
black culture, we have a hard time going to hospitals, going to doctors unless we about to die.
And that's
Or
because
unless something is
historically
yes,
those
see?
people haven't taken good care of us.
Yeah.
When it comes to our grandfathers and grandmothers, they definitely don't want nothing to do with it because of
Okay.
historically. So it's
Yes.
definitely gotten better. But as women, as someone who is a cancer survivor, I am
Yes.
very big on women getting their pap smears and getting them
Yes.
regularly.
Yes.
Do not miss that. I've talked to so many women that I'll say, "When's your last pap?" Oh, I think I've been about 3-4 years ago.
That's a
Stop
long
that.
time. Yeah.
Stop. Women go a long time. When they feel like they're healthy and don't need to go, no. I was
Mm-hmm.
healthy. I skipped a year, was healthy. By the time I got it, I had cervical cancer. So we
Wow.
don't want to skip.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta make sure you're getting them pap smears done and your mammograms. And I know they say that don't start them until you're over 40, I think.
Yes.
But definitely if it's in your history, go sooner.
Yeah.
Stay on top of that. Stay on top of that. And then just women have a heart. We always put ourselves on the back burner.
We
So
do. We
if
do.
we feel sick or we feel a pain or an ache, we just, oh
Yeah,
girl,
brush it
that'll
off.
go away. I
Mm,
gotta take care of the kids, or I got to take it, but we'll be on the husband about going, or significant
right.
other about going, but then
Right.
we won't go. We have got to
Yeah.
do better with keeping up with our regular appointments. Heart disease is the number one killer of women.
Wow.
Women they think it's cancer, but it's not. Heart disease is. And women need to make sure they are taking care of their heart, taking a good CoQ10. I take it
Mm-hmm.
every day, and staying on top of that because it's a sneaky quiet killer. And the way we eat,
Listen. Okay.
we got
We're
to
not
be
gonna talk about it
careful.
though. We're not gonna talk about it.
Most of us is living with clogged arteries
Yes.
right now.
Yes.
And so that's why we
Yep.
have to stay on top of those things. So pap smears for sure, mammograms if it's time, colonoscopy, even though we don't like it, we should get it as
Yep.
soon as it's time.
Yep.
Because that's another killer that people, it sneaks up on them. You don't know. And then the last one, and now I done lost my train of thought, but all of them things that I mentioned, and
Yeah.
just paying attention to your body. Just
Mm-hmm.
don't continue to put yourself on the back burner. As women, we have to pay attention when something isn't right and go see a physician about it. And don't just take their word for it. As I said
Yeah.
before, educate yourself. Now, don't go on Google because Google is not a doctor. And people love to do Google doctor, but there are plenty of
Yeah.
videos out. There are books you can get. Mayo Clinic is a great asset. I love Mayo Clinic.
I do too. Yeah.
Got me
We get
through
a lot of
nursing
them through the
school.
lab.
Yes, yes, they
Mm-hmm.
have great articles. Not Wikipedia.
Because we'll Google
Um,
something real quick.
don't do it. Let's get some real research documents
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
But
Some
but
real
no but
resources.
no nobody knows your body like you. So if you
Mm-hmm.
go in and you say this is happening, and they say, oh, it's not that, it's probably this. Okay, well, when I looked
Do
it up,
both of them.
let's do both these tests. That way
Okay.
we knock them both out.
Okay.
So being aware of your body, being at your appointments, asking questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the physician. I know the physician is in and out, trying to hurry up and get out.
Right.
He don't really have time to be in there with you. Ask the nurse.
Mm-hmm.
The nurse will get in front of the physician and ask the physician. But make your ailments known, because a lot of times we ignore things and ignore things and ignore things until it is too late, and then we are sick or unfortunately have something that we cannot. Thank God I was cured. The Lord cured me
Yes.
of cancer, but You know, if I would have missed one more year, who knows what would
Okay.
have happened,
Right.
you know?
Right.
So definitely stay on top of it. I'm real big on pap smears, real big on it.
Yes. And we don't want it to be a situation where, like you mentioned, it's too late.
Right.
Or we let the pain go for so long to where we can't move. It's unbearable. An ambulance got
Yes.
to be called. You got a short span of life to live. You know what I mean? When
Yes. Yes.
it
And
takes,
we so guilty of that.
yes, and it takes nothing but a good 15, 20 minutes to call your doctor, make an appointment.
Yes.
You're there every bit of 30 minutes.
Every bit of 30 minutes. That's
Every
it.
bit of 30 minutes just to make sure that you get everything checked, looked at, fixed,
Yes.
Operated on, whatever the case is.
Whatever the case
It's
is.
necessary. It's very
Yes.
necessary.
Very necessary. Stay on top of your health as
Yes,
women.
because you hear a lot of cases where, oh, well, if they would have came in sooner,
Yeah.
or if we would have been able to catch it sooner.
Yes.
You don't want to be that case.
You don't want to be that case. No.
Not at all.
No,
Not
ma'am.
at all. Absolutely not.
No.
Well, listen, thank you so much.
Thank you
for
for
taking
having
time
me.
out of your day to come and hang with me at the lounge. It was an honor to have you be the first guest for this month for nurses and healthcare professionals for this month's mini series of interviews.
Yes.
Like I mentioned earlier, I wanted to shine a light on it and just get our take as a Black woman, and as a Black woman that is a medical professional, to
Yes.
kind of shine a little bit of light of what goes on the inside.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because we
Yes.
see from the outside looking in, but you are there firsthand. So you
Yes.
see the ups and downs, you see the unfairness, the having to go the extra mile, having to do the most, having to have this stigma that ain't even true. And it's all because of what we look like. But we bomb, okay? We out here
And
killing
we
it.
coming through.
Period. Okay? We out here doing big things. And so I'm so
Can't
proud of
stop
us
us.
as Black women and
Yes.
Black women in the medical field, because we are necessary and we are making a big difference
Yes,
in
we
the
are.
healthcare field. So I
Yes.
encourage, any woman that is a Black woman looking to get into a profession, look into the medical field, no matter what that medical field is.
Agree.
Look into that.
Agree.
Yes,
Agree.
absolutely.
And if there are nurses out there wanting to be in leadership, you guys hit me up. I'm all about helping mentor you and
Yes.
get you there, because we need more nurses in the top making
Yes.
decisions.
Yes, we
Yes.
need to get you in there. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Ma, is there anything else that you want to say to the people before I let you go?
No, thank you for having me. It's been
Yes.
awesome. I appreciate it. Go make sure you check on yourself, and let's get out, nurses.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ma. This will not be the first or last time
Okay.
I invite you on the show.
Okay.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your day, and enjoy the rest of your day today.
Thank you. You too.
Yes, ma'am. I will talk to you later.
Peace.